Hey Army, welcome back to the channel. Have you heard the viral news about Jimin and BTS's highly anticipated comeback album? Guys, this is not clickbait. Jimin actually cried during the Arirang album recording, and what he revealed will give you chills. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any latest updates about BTS and Jimin. If you're ready, let's get into it. So here's what happened. Recently, Jimin opened up about the Arirang album that's scheduled to be released on March 20th, 2026. And guys, what he shared has got us all incredibly hyped for this album. In his latest Weverse live stream, which by the way was his first live stream in almost 2 years since completing his military service, Jimin literally admitted that he cried during the recording process. Not just him, even other members and production staff were moved to tears. This isn't just any ordinary comeback. There's something incredibly special about the Arirang album. You need to watch until the end, because there's a shocking detail Jimin revealed about one particular song that left everyone in the studio completely speechless. Okay, Army, before we go deeper, you need to understand the full context. BTS hasn't had a full group comeback in almost 4 years because all members had to complete their mandatory military service in South Korea. During that period, Army worldwide patiently waited, and now the moment we've all been waiting for is finally here. The Arirang album isn't just a regular comeback album. This represents BTS's long journey, their struggles, their growth, and of course their love for ARM, why that never faded despite being separated by distance and time. So Jimin, who had just returned from Paris Fashion Week for the dior Spring-Summer 2026 show, had a casual chat with Army on a Weverse Live. He looked more relaxed than usual, sitting comfortably on the couch with soft lighting. And ARM, why who missed him so much, immediately flooded the live with loving comments. But in the middle of that casual conversation, the atmosphere completely shifted when Jimin brought up the Arirang album. His tone became more serious, deeper, and guys, you could see there was some restrained emotion in his eyes. And here's the moment that made every Army freeze. Jimin started talking about how the Arirang album recording process was truly different from any BTS album they'd made before. With a slightly trembling voice, he said, "The music is really good. You won't believe it until you hear it yourself." But what made Army instantly panic was the way he said it. There was a long pause before he continued his sentence, as if he was reminiscing about those recording moments and trying to hold back his emotions. Many Army immediately noticed in the comment section that Jimin's eyes looked teary when he said that. And guys, this isn't the usual hype we see from idols promoting a new album. You can tell from his body language, from the way he speaks. This is genuine, this is real, and this is straight from his heart. Those of you who've been Army for a long time definitely know the difference between promotional talk and genuine emotion, right? Well, this is the latter. Then Jimin dropped the bomb. He said there's one particular song on the Arirang album that was very emotional for all the members to record. He didn't mention the song title specifically. Obviously, they're still keeping it secret, but from the way he described it, it seems like this song is the heart of the album, the core of what BTS wants to convey through Arirang. Now guys, this is the part that's going to move you. Jimin said that when they first recorded that song together in the studio, the atmosphere was completely different from usual. Normally during recording sessions, even though it's serious, there's still laughter and jokes, light moments between takes that keep the mood from getting too tense. Those of you who often watch BTS behind the scenes know they love goofing around, right? But for this particular song, from start to finish, all members were completely focused and immersed in the emotion of the song. What made that moment even more special was that after they finished recording the last vocal part, all the members fell silent. No one said anything. The studio, that's usually buzzing with chatter, went completely quiet. Jimin said he could hear his own breathing in that silence. Just imagine that scene, guys. 7 people who are usually energetic and noisy, suddenly all silent and lost in their own thoughts. And when he looked around, he noticed it wasn't just him who was emotional. Several other members were also holding back their tears. Some covered their faces with their hands. Others looked down while wiping their eyes. Even the producer and staff who had worked with BTS for years and were used to various songs and concepts, they too were silent and moved witnessing this moment. And here comes the part that went viral. Jimin admitted that he couldn't hold back his tears at that moment. With his voice cracking a little bit, he said, "I really cried, not because I was sad, but because it felt like everything we've been through, everything we've felt all this time, it's all in that song. It felt like we were pouring our souls into the music." Guys, this honest confession from Jimin immediately moved ARMY worldwide and trended in 127 countries. Imagine Jimin, who always tries to appear strong on camera, who always smiles for ARMY, who always tries to be the source of comfort for us, admitting that he cried because of a song. This shows you how powerful and meaningful that song is, how deep the emotions poured into it. According to Jimin, the lyrics of this song tell the story of BTS's journey with ARMY, about how they started from nothing, from the basement, from seemingly impossible dreams, and made it to where they are now thanks to ARMY's unwavering support. But more than that, the song also talks about difficult times, about moments when they almost gave up, about the pressure they felt, about loneliness in the midst of fame, and about how ARMY was always there, being the light in their darkness. Jimin said that when he sang the chorus part of that song, he literally remembered all the ARMY faces he'd seen at concerts, all the letters he'd read, all the support he'd received, and it completely overwhelmed him with gratitude and love. Can you imagine, guys, how emotionally charged that moment was? What's even more interesting is that Jimin also revealed that in creating the Arirang album, all BTS members were directly involved in songwriting and production. They're not just idols singing songs given by producers, but they truly participated in creating, composing, and pouring their thoughts and feelings into every song. This is what we call full artistic control, guys. Jimin himself contributed to writing several songs on this album, and he said that his military service experience, being separated from ARMY, living as an individual outside of BTS, all of these gave him new perspectives that he poured into the Arirang lyrics. Imagine all those experiences, all those feelings, channeled into music. That's incredibly powerful. He also explained why they chose Arirang as the album title. Arirang is a very famous traditional Korean folk song that has been sung for hundreds of years across generations. This song symbolizes Korean identity, resilience, and an unyielding spirit. By choosing Arirang as the album title, BTS wants to send a message that they remain proud of their roots, of Korean culture, and that their music represents a journey full of ups and downs, but remaining strong and moving forward. This is such a powerful statement about their identity as Korean artists who've gone global, but never forgot where they came from. And guys, in this era where many artists who go international sometimes lose their cultural identity, BTS proves that you can be global while staying true to your roots. Jimin also revealed that recording the Arirang album was one of the most challenging processes of his career, but not challenging in a technical or vocal sense, guys, because we all know Jimin's vocals are insane, but challenging emotionally. He had to dig into feelings he might have buried, be honest with himself, and be vulnerable in front of the mic. But from that vulnerability, authentic and touching music was born. Jimin said with full conviction, I think this is BTS's most honest album. We're not pretending. We're not wearing masks. This is the real us. And ARMY, that's what we've always loved about BTS, right? Their authenticity, their realness, their willingness to be vulnerable with us. When ARMY in the livestream asked if the Arirang album would be BTS's best album, Jimin gave such a mature and thoughtful answer. He smiled and said he couldn't compare because every BTS album has its own place in his heart. Each album represents a different era, different emotions, different versions of BTS. But what's certain is that Arirang is the most mature, most reflective, and most representative album of who BTS is now after they've been through so much. This is no longer an album from 7 young boys dreaming of fame. This is an album from 7 men who've gone through various phases of life, who have responsibilities, who have wisdom, and who know what they want in life and their careers. That growth, that maturity, you're gonna hear it in the music. What made ARMY even more excited is when Jimin mentioned that the Arirang album isn't just about music, but also about visual storytelling. Every music video, every concept photo, every performance, it's all connected and tells one grand narrative. BTS worked with the best directors and visual artists to ensure that every visual element supports the message they want to convey through music. Jimin said with excited eyes that ARMY will be surprised by the level of detail and thoughtfulness they put into every aspect of this album. Knowing BTS and how meticulous they are with their artistry, I have no doubt this is going to be a complete sensory experience. And what created the most hype was when Jimin dropped this line. He looked straight into the camera and said, "You have to hear the song that made me cry." I can't explain in words how beautiful and meaningful that song is, but I'm sure when you hear it, you'll understand why I cried. You'll feel what I felt. Guys, this statement immediately went viral and became a trending topic on various social media platforms. Within minutes, ARMY from various countries started speculating which song Jimin meant, creating theories, and literally counting down the days until March 20th, 2026 to finally hear the complete album. Twitter was on fire, TikTok was flooded with reactions, Instagram was filled with theories. The hype is real! Jimin also emphasized repeatedly in his live stream, and I think this is really important for ARMY to hear, that his main focus right now is BTS. Even though he has a very successful solo career with the Muse album, even though he has various brand ambassadorships from Dior, Tiffany & Co., L'Adore, and Seoul Tourism, even though he's literally one of the biggest fashion icons right now, he said with a firm voice that BTS remains the most important thing in his life. Bangtan is the most important to me. He said with conviction that we could all feel through the screen. This is such an important reminder for ARMY that even though each member has individual success, their bond as BTS remains unbreakable, and their top priority is the group comeback. That brotherhood, that unity, it's what makes BTS special. Before ending the live stream. And this part really got me emotional, guys. Jimin took a moment to thank ARMY for waiting so patiently all this time. With genuine gratitude in his eyes, he acknowledged that almost 4 years is a very long time. And he really appreciates the loyalty and love that ARMY has given endlessly. Despite their absence for so long, he made a promise that the Arirang album and the upcoming world tour are BTS's way of thanking ARMY, their way of showing the love and appreciation that we've shown them for years. He said with eyes full of emotion, "We'll give our best. There will be no regrets. This is for you, ARMY." And guys, if that doesn't make you emotional, I don't know what will. After everything we've been through together, after all the waiting, after all the support, knowing that they're putting their heart and soul into this comeback for us, it just hits different. So guys, Now we just have to wait about 2 more months for the Arirang album to officially drop on March 20th, 2026. Pre-orders opened on January 16th, and unsurprisingly, this album is already breaking various pre-order records left and right. ARMY Worldwide is clearly super excited and ready to support this BTS comeback wholeheartedly. And after hearing everything Jimin shared about the emotional journey behind this album, about the tears he shed during recording, about the honesty and vulnerability they poured into it, we're all even more eager to experience Arirang firsthand. This is not just an album, guys. This is a love letter from BTS to ARMY. This is the crystallization of everything they've been through with us for over 10 years. And I'm absolutely certain this album will be something truly special that we'll remember forever. So ARMY, get ready to cry, to laugh, to fall in love with BTS all over again through Arirang. Mark your calendars for March 20th. Before I end this video, I want to know from all of you in the comment section, what song do you think made Jimin cry? Drop your theories below. And don't forget to like this video if you're excited for the Arirang comeback. Subscribe if you haven't already. And share this video with fellow ARMY who might not know about this emotional revelation from Jimin. That's all for today's video, ARMY. See you in the next one. And remember, we purple you. Hey!